Good morning, guys. We'll get everybody back on this one over here. Good morning. We are here at the boardwalk. I've got a lot of great things to go over this morning, a lot of great things to talk about. Looks wonderful. So I'll give everybody a quick second and then we'll get going right away. Good morning, good morning. It's good to see everybody. How are you? So we are about to do our 45-minute walk, and I got to get going because I'm on a tight schedule. So I'm going to hit my watch right now, and I'll give my standard public service announcement. We are doing 45 minutes walk. You can get started here along with me. It's good to see everybody this morning. So here on our 45-minute walks, I'm always here around Disney somewhere, and I walk about a 16-minute pace. So if you're walking along on a treadmill, that gives you a decent idea. If you're walking outside, lets you know. And walking at a fast pace allows me to talk at a decent rate without, sprinting and feeling out of breath. And then it's just not fun for anybody. So, good morning. If I am going to chat and talk through the 45-minute walk here, watching a beautiful sunrise around Walt Disney World. It's about a brisk 55 degrees out. We're here at the boardwalk. I'm going to start out, if you don't want to hear me chatting and talking, you can most definitely go ahead and put this up on your screen and then pop in some earbuds and whatever music that you listen to and just enjoy the scenery. We have lots of treadmill POVs that are like that are just set to music, so you can always check out those too at a later time. So my plan for this morning is, if you are new to the motivational walk, I'm going to talk a little bit about this boardwalk area. Probably my next motivational walks will be some other places. I've come to the boardwalk a couple times lately, but that's just because I knew that the sunrises were going to be really beautiful, and this area is gorgeous. So good to see you guys this morning. Thanks for walking along with me. We'll talk a little bit about the happenings around these resorts, the boardwalk, the yacht and beach, the Swan and Dolphin. I'm going to take you on a little bit different route around this area than sometimes we've done in the past. Here you can see, this is kind of neat, the new paint jobs that are coming in on the friendship boats. That one looks real sharp. Real sharp. So slowly but surely they're making some progress on repainting all of those. And after we talk about the resorts, then I'll take some time, but the last half, I've got a lot of motivational topics. These walks are different from our normal park streams where we talk about all the park and the characters and happenings in there. And so this one's geared more towards fitness. If you are just finding the channel, we just got straight off of back-to-back half marathons at Walt Disney World, and then 6 days later over in Disneyland in California. And so it's great to be back at Walt Disney World. So talking about RunDisney for a minute before we talk about some interesting changes and things on the boardwalk and yacht and beach club resorts are so for RunDisney, if you are interested in RunDisney, they do have Princess Weekend coming up, and that's in February, and Springtime Surprise. Those are already booked up. But if anybody saw that, hey, this looks like something I'd like to do, good news for you. You've got lots of time to train, and in the springtime is when a lot of these races you can start registering, because they fill up almost within hours of registration. So it's kind of the perfect time to start training and start getting ready. So registration for Wine and Dine weekend, which is going to be in November, is coming up in just a couple months. So good news, if you had a great time watching and you thought maybe this is a trip I want to plan or something I want to participate in, anytime between like May, well, maybe like April, May, June, July is when all the registrations happen. So good morning. It has been chilly. You know, we definitely have not had the negative temperatures like some of the other northern friends up watching have, but we've had some of the cold down here and rain. So I was not sure. Before I scheduled this, I thought to myself, I am absolutely going to double check, because if it's pouring rain, like it rained quite a bit last night. That's why you can see a lot of the rain out here. You know, it's all wet but beautiful, beautiful morning it should be. So hopefully the rain will subside. I think it's supposed to rain a little bit later today, but it's about 55 degrees here. It's supposed to get into the 30s here over the weekend. I think they said a low of 31 or 32, which that's definitely, that doesn't happen often here in Florida. But good morning. If you're walking along with, we're going to see, we don't do anything by mileage on these motivational walks. It's more about the time. 45 minutes, I keep it to cap. And I'll go ahead and let you guys know throughout the walk where our halfway point is. So if you're kind of doing a circle, a loop, or a walking and turning around, I'll give you that cue. So here at the boardwalk, before we get into a lot of the motivational topics, I saw that they just announced that the brewery restaurant, oh my gosh, the brewery restaurant, see, that's how much nobody ever goes over there. They're closing. And they could use some more restaurants because they closed the ESPN Club, which is making way for the Cake Bake Shop, which has been under construction for quite some time. So I'm really hoping they move a little quicker on that. They are quickly losing eateries around this boardwalk area. Big River Brewing, that's what it is. Big River Brewing. So Big River Brewing is right, we passed it kind of when we just got started, and they're kind of closing like immediately. There's not really a warning about it. But used to be all of that was full. You know, Flying Fish is over there. That's really good. I've always really liked that a couple times that I've been there. And then they have a couple restaurants inside the Yacht and Beach here. But I hope they have something in mind, because it can get really busy during peak season. And absolutely they need, and maybe quick service, like a nicer type of quick service. I'm trying to, you know, something that people can take to their rooms, because so many of this is DVC. I think that would be a great addition if they had a way to say, you know, more than just pizza is what I'm trying to say. You know, hey, maybe you want a nicer dinner, but you want it to go so that you can sit in your DVC room and relax after a long park day. Something that's not just like chicken strips. That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't know. That's just my thought. And over here at the Yacht and Beach, they have a pretty big convention center, decent size. So it might look quiet, but this time of year, and a lot of people think, oh, well, it's quiet time at Walt Disney World. Well, because most people think families. There's actually probably some sort of decent side convention guaranteed here at the Yacht and Beach today. So even when you think, oh, it's quiet season or down week, it is most likely not a down week. You're just not really realizing how many people are in their big convention center over at the Coronado, how many people are in the big convention center here at the Yacht and Beach. And then they arrange different events. But it is nice because those people are at conventions and then they normally are not riding rides like the average family. I'll make my loop around the lighthouse here, which is so fun. I love it. So good morning, guys. We just got off of our couple of half marathons back to back. Oh yeah, and I ran the 5K. So if you are looking for something fun, you know, seeing what a Disney 5K is all about, or just a general idea, you know, we did live stream the half marathons, but spoiler alert, if you didn't watch it, the half marathon here at Walt Disney World was cut short due to weather. I'll talk about that in a second because that's really great to talk about, you know, in your training, and you're getting excited and the things that could happen that are out of your control. That's kind of life, right? You just have to realize some things are out of your control. Look at both of these friendship boats. Look really beautiful with their new paint jobs. I mean, they're not new as in yesterday, within the last few months. Good morning. Good morning. They're over there waving. So we ran half of a half, 7 miles, and Adam and I both made up the difference. Like I said, I'll get to that in just a second. But half of the half at Walt Disney World due to weather. That was quite something. And then we flew out to Disneyland last weekend. So did the back-to-back half marathon going to Disneyland in California. So a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, as in, you know, time changes always mess with me a little bit, but and travel, I completely give it up to all of you guys who come down here from no matter where you're from. You can be on the same, you could be from Georgia, you know, only the state next to us, you know, but traveling and then running is not easy. You know, it's always really nice when you're just running in your own city, location, and you're not traveling somewhere, because I normally just have run races right in my local area or in Florida in general. I've done some in Tampa, which is, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on what I was doing. But I had the luxury of just having everything near me at my own house. But it's a whole other level when you got to make sure, what do I pack? What do I bring? Did I have this? Do I have that? Because when I run and train, I'm really particular in, I like to wear these shorts that I feel are comfortable, or this top that I feel comfortable in. I have little traditions, I guess. I always have my headband. I'm wearing a headband today. I'll show you guys at the end. And I have to make sure, you have to make sure you have shoes. Make sure that you don't go and wear new shoes. That could be really painful if you've never worn shoes and you have to buy them at the expo or wherever. But kind of going into our motivation today. So we're about 14 minutes in, but I got a lot to talk about. motivation wise in my short but kind of long hiatus from our walks. I've had a lot of epiphanies, so I've been writing them down, but some of them I'm saving. For sure. I'll say hello to everybody who's watching. Thanks again for tuning in. We are on a 45 motivational walk throughout Walt Disney World. We are here at the boardwalk, which encompasses also the yacht and beach, and we're going to head into the Swan and Dolphin for a minute. I'm going to take a little different path. I think you guys will like it. But good morning. Liam, Lindsay, Sarah, Lorianne, Tara, Danielle, Old Key West, 94, Kim and Bruce. That's a long one. Gary. Oh yes, Lindsay mentioned it. We're gonna have a little big celebration this weekend. We hit 14,000 subscribers. Once we get to 15,000, I'm gonna do a big giveaway. I'll talk about that on the live stream on Sunday. Sunday nights is when we always have some big live streams, and that's the night that we're always out, always Sunday nights. So speaking of motivation, I'll go back to what I was saying. We'll start with this. So you train and you get all excited and you get ready for your race, and like what happened at Walt Disney World is there are things that will come up that there's nothing you can do about it. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with a situation you've created, but in this case, weather. And Disney had to make the right call. I've been at many races over many years. This is not the first race that I saw them modify the course. And you just can't, you have to be mindful. And in the moment, you're really disappointed for yourself, but that's an opportunity to say, okay, this is not the best situation. I'm not happy about this, but it's the card I've been dealt. And what I did love is that not only did Adam and I finish out our mileage, but we saw many, many people finishing out their mileage around the parking lot. Safety first, of course. Safety first. They finished out their mileage at their resort hotels, because it was, depending on when they finished, some people started very early. They got to the half marathon, 2:30 in the morning, and decided they were going to make up and start walking much, much earlier than the race started, like 2:30 in the morning. So then they already made up the difference when the race started. So they did it prior. So that's one way to handle it. I did see a couple people who were very excited that the race course was shortened. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when it's your first race and you're going out there, and this can be in anything in life, right? Sometimes you're doing something and you're just really nervous, like this is a big deal, but I'm going to give it a go. And somebody throws you, the God above has smiled upon you and said, I know that you are so nervous. We're gonna change this up a bit. And for some people, it was a breath of fresh air. And they might have trained, and you say, so while some people are upset and frustrated and angry, there's others that are embracing it because now they get a chance to experience it. The weight is lifted off their shoulders, and some may look at it as, I get to do this, and it's not as much of the mileage, but they will get the medal. And I'm sure of you, the people who said, now the anxiety is lifted. I'm not so scared of what happens if I don't finish. What if this? What if that? And you know what? I guarantee you, the people who said, oh, at least I can experience this and know, and I'm just not sure I can do it. They can, and so can you. But there's a lot to be said about, okay, it's not exactly what I thought. So I have got a little bit of grace. I'll finish strong. I'll get the medal, and then probably in their own time, they most likely finished the miles. And if they didn't, that's on them. But you know what? Sometimes when you're starting out and having that little bit of peace of mind can make such a difference, because maybe they ran a little bit more confidently. You know, it's nerve-wracking, even for me. Sometimes I go out to some of these races and I say, okay, this is something that I've done. And what helps me is I say, okay, not only have I ran this distance before, but I run in this location. I run in this spot. This is my home court, home court advantage. And that is reassuring. But when you're traveling, that was out at Disneyland. I don't know. I've never been on the streets of Anaheim. What if something happens? What if Adam and I are going to do a recap. We're going to do a live stream. We just put out the schedule last night of what we're planning. And then we're going to recap our thoughts. We're going to recap what the courses were like, the differences, all of the pros, all of the cons, all of, our thoughts. So that should be an interesting live stream. And I'm going to try to see if there's any kind of RunDisney groups where people who may not know of us want to come and join and chat along, give their feedback too. But we're going to do that in a week or so. So you can check that out. But there's good to be seen. There's good to be seen even in the occasions where things happen and you can't control it. That's the main point of everything, So we're going to cut through here. I'm going to take you on a little different loop. So kind of going into training and things that you can't control. There's been kind of a situation, a funny story on my mind. Something that happened to me right before Christmas in December. They do a lot of weddings here, right in this location. So if you're wondering what in the world, or events, it is kind of a unique stage platform type area. But we're on the back side of the Swan. The dolphin's on the other side. Good morning. So a story had to me, it was kind of enlightening, because I think it's important in life to kind of take situations and, well, one, poke fun at yourself. Because if you're laughing, if you're not laughing, what's the point? Everybody deserves a lot of laughter, and laughter can cure a lot of things, just like walking. So, if Adam's watching, I'm sure he's gonna roll his eyes or laugh at me. But I just found this story deeply intriguing to me, because sometimes I and lots of other people like to get frustrated, and in today's world, everybody wants the quick fix, right? And they just want to say, it's not working. This isn't working. I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm not running as fast as I want to. So here's a go at my story. And by the way, if you are doing kind of an out and back, just make sure you do your turnaround now. We're about halfway done. I can't believe it. The time flies when you're having fun. But, so here's my story. So right before Christmas, I'm putting up all of the I'm putting up all of the Christmas decorations, and I got some new decorations, and I went over to the home improvement store and I got a new power strip, right? So if you're doing outdoor decorations, most likely lots of people have power strips or cable or cord or something. And I wanted a new power strip to connect a couple of, I have a light up deer, as do many people, and the lights for the bushes and such. So I thought, I'm going to get this new power strip. And so I connected all the lights, and for some reason, like one half of the lights, I came home in the dark and they weren't on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just bought that power strip and I don't have time to go over back to the hardware store, to Lowe's, and figure out or whatever. So I pulled in the garage and just went about my day. So I thought, I'll deal with this tomorrow. But it really bothered me because I just bought that brand new power strip. And so, woke up the next morning, took the kids to school, no big deal. And so on my lunch break at work, I went outside and I was like, well, let me just see what's going on here. And started toying with it, and I will say I laughed hysterically at myself for a while, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, is it plugged in? Yes. Is everything in there? Do they work? So I go ahead and unplug them and start plugging them individually. Yes. Okay. That's fine now too. So after these things, one by one, I'm trying to figure out. And after everything, I felt so dumb. Like I said, I laughed at myself for quite some time, because when everything's plugged in, the one thing I didn't do was turn on the on button. I felt so stupid. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a power strip, like a switch on like every power strip. They're usually red. And what did I not do? Turn on the actual on button. And so I ended up laughing. I think we've all had those moments where you're like, that was really dumb. That was really, really dumb. But you know why I thought about this and why I wanted to talk about it is because it really made me think. And I like to do that. I like to think about things that I've done or mistakes I've made and say, okay, could I have done something differently? Or, you don't give up, because if you just can't give up. And a lot of people, and this is kind of why I thought about the story, is I was very quick. Ooh, I was mad. I was so mad. And it sounds so trivial, but we all are like that. I think society has conditioned a lot of us to just knee-jerk reactions. And, oh my gosh, this isn't working, this is broke, or this didn't go the right way. And people are so frustrated. But if you just take a small moment, in my case, it was just on my lunch break, you might find that it's just a matter of flipping the on button or something, some very small tweak, and you can be back going again, or things can get better, very easily without, hey, I don't need to take this back to Lowe's. I don't need to spend hours of my time. I just made a simple mistake. And why I say that is because same thing with training. The same thing with life is oftentimes it's really easy to just get frustrated and say, I'm not losing the weight that I want. I'm not getting the times that I want. I'm not making the fitness goals that I'm hoping for. Or maybe it's a matter of, in just your personal life, something's not going right and I'm frustrated. But the point being is taking a step back and taking a look at the whole situation and saying, you know what, maybe it's just a simple flip of the switch. So we talked a little bit about this in one of the races when we were chit-chatting. Adam is still working through, some pain that he has when he runs. But this was really interesting, and I never thought about this. Adam went to the shoe store, and he said, hey, I'm really having this trouble, and I think I need to look at new shoes. And so they said, well, what kind do you have? So he showed them, and they looked at, when you're running, everybody can have different cadences and ways that your foot strikes the pavement. So it can be really important to take a look and go to your local shoe store and trying to see what shoe, because running shoes are made differently for different people. So go to the running store, get fitted, and they will explain to you what's best for you. And for years and years, Adam has worn the same type of shoe. To the best of my knowledge, I could be wrong because it's been that long. I don't think Adam got the shoe recommendation based upon being fitted or what works for his stride. So he was wearing a shoe that really was not ideal for him and most likely added. I'm not saying it was completely the cause of all of his running pain as he works through some of the other things with his joints now, but it was not the right shoe for him. And it's like one of those things, like, it's, you get frustrated and you say, oh, why is this happening? Well, if you take a moment to step back and say, you know what, let's see here. In the thought of running, let's see here. Should I try a different piece of clothing that maybe you're comfortable in? I know it sounds silly, but there are times where I'm like, you know what, I'm a lot more comfortable in this type of attire. It helps me run better or feel better, which has a lot of domino effect in a positive way. Maybe it's something like my shoes. You think that you picked the right shoes, but maybe it's, getting fitted and having somebody say, oh, you know what? These are really going to help you and you're not going to have as much pain or concern. Alternatively, if you're running long distances and you're like, I just get so tired. I get tired and I'm just really dragging after a certain point, looking at your nutrition. And you might think that maybe the nutrition that you have is right for you or what you like, but taking a moment, like I said, to step back and say, maybe I should give this and this a try. If you're just training, you're not hurting anything, and it might pleasantly surprise you to say, maybe I should try this if I'm doing a half marathon and I want to try this type of gel or energy something. So that's all tips, all things. And I think in your life, it equally, I don't know anybody that doesn't have some sort of relationship matter, and not relationship as in a partner, but there's always times and people in your life that you're like, oh, I don't know why they're upset with me, or I'm really bothered because, my friend this, or my coworker that. And that can affect you. Those are times where you could say, let me really think about this and maybe offer the olive branch in whatever way or situation it is. But, those are all things that that you can use that in your personal life to say, you know, don't just get upset, because I do. A good moral to this story, or a good example of this story, was this morning. I haven't done a morning walk in about a month, mainly because we had the 2 races back to back. I did the 5K as basically my, walk with you guys. And then alternatively, with travel, just couldn't fit it in the holidays. I haven't touched any settings. I don't know what happened this morning. But it's really easy to get frustrated and upset and blame this and blame that, but it doesn't help anything. It really doesn't. If I've learned anything, being in the parks when it's busy. Woo! If you need a lesson on patience, come to these theme parks Christmas week or Easter week, or maybe mid-thick of summer when it's 100 degrees and if you need to practice patience, I highly recommend it here. It's just nothing is worth getting super heated about. And I know I have that problem. I'm always on the go. And when something isn't what I had planned, and maybe it added some extra time to my day, it can be really stressful to me. It can be really stressful to a lot of people when things are out of your control. But that's the time to take the deep breath. Maybe it's that moment for you where I just need to click the on button and things will get better, Real quick, while we are in the midst of our motivational discussion, you'll notice it is a beautiful morning, but there are no Skyliners because they're under refurbishment. They only do the refurbishment for, 2 weeks. It's not very long, but regrettably, there are no Skyliners. And actually, here, I'll make a little loop here. No sense in going way down there. Well, I can. There's nobody down here. We might as well go all the way down and come back. They're not using this section right now. But they will be under refurbishment for a bit. It's very difficult in the camera, but I can see the beautiful, that looked like Spaceship Earth, but I don't think that is way down there. Might be. Well, this is where all the buses for all of the resorts come and go. And these are the charter bus lot. So if there's any large groups, they use these for drop off and pick up points, and they assign them. So we are down to less than 10 minutes here. I'll probably turn around right at this umbrella. We don't need to go all the way down there. And we'll start heading down back towards the boardwalk. But this is a nice area if you're looking for, especially in the morning, it's not often that they use these charter bus spaces. So you can add a pretty decent distance by coming into this far bus loop over at Hollywood Studios. So just food for thought. But good morning, guys. I hope that you have had a great week. Today is Friday. Pretty awesome day. Love Fridays. I'm excited for the weekend. I don't really have many plans. I've been spending the week kind of cleaning up around the house, getting things done. I got a haircut yesterday. Don't worry, it's nothing crazy. I just trimmed like the ends a bit. It was way too long. I took off like maybe 2 inches, but it doesn't look like that much. You know, I was off of work, but I didn't, unfortunately, do anything really super exciting because it's been raining. I took Harper down to Animal Kingdom, and she had so much fun. There wasn't too many people there again because it was raining. And so we got on the safari, and then she had a great time petting the animals at the petting zoo. A lot of people don't realize that at Animal Kingdom, if you have little ones, you can take the train out to Rafiki's Planet Watch. It's often overlooked, but for good reason. There's not much back there, but Harper loves it. They have an opportunity to draw with an animator back there, and a few things in the building exhibits that you can look, but it's just small. It's not huge. But the main attraction to Harper is that she can go and pet all the animals at the petting zoo. And she just had a great time because there wasn't too many people there. So she had so much fun. She got to pet the pig and the sheep and the goats. And then she was even more excited because they brought out food, which was just branches with a bunch of leaves on it. And she just thought that was the most hilarious thing. So I think we spent like an hour just with the goats and the sheep, you know, the important things at Disney, petting goats and sheep. Yeah, it's those moments that when they're little like that, sometimes parents and grandparents and friends lose sight of, you know, the 2-year-old and the 3-year-olds. They're just happy to, in Harper's little life, she's just happy to be there and go up and down the stairwell. Like over in Hollywood Studios, I laugh because outside Hollywood and Vine, there's some small, it's like 3 steps of concrete stairs that are right by so that you can take pictures by Gertie the dinosaur. And it's just a nice little water, you know, area, photos and stuff, landscaping. And Harper's favorite time is literally just, I'm gonna go up the stairs and down the stairs and up the stairs and down the stairs. So not everything is about rides for her. So good morning, guys. We are in the last 3 minutes. We're heading back to the boardwalk area from Hollywood Studios. While we do that, now's the time, if you are wrapping up, to go ahead, get in your last push for the day. Maybe walk a little faster, maybe jog a little bit. You know, even if it's just a few feet for these last few minutes, to really take a moment to push yourself a little bit further and give yourself the confidence that you can do it. We're gonna have our RunDisney recap live stream, and that's gonna be a great time where if you have questions about RunDisney, we're gonna talk all about it. We're gonna talk about, answer questions for you, give our thoughts, so make sure you tune in for that. And it may be Friday, but if you are watching on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Great job on getting out there. And I know some people, they like to just generally watch it while they're having their morning coffee or such, and then they get out and walk later. Any effort that you do, whether it's on your spin bike, you are incredible. You're doing great things, and you can do great things. Also, you know, I've been seeing all the negative temperatures, and that's tough up there. That's tough. You know, that can incur a lot of things, like when there's heat here, and that's hard. And that can bring a lot of concerns. So be thinking about you guys with a lot of the weather and the snow going on. Uh-oh. We'll have to go past the landscapers. I'm not really sure why they water this area, to be frank, because they have water on the top of this bridge on the plants that are up there, and it drips down onto this walkway every single day. And it's always a little bit slippery, a little bit, there's puddles under here. So I'm kind of impressed that they water it by hand down here. Okay, we are coming into the home stretch. We are here at the 45 minutes. We're coming up here by the tennis courts. So I'll pop in there so I can say good morning and great job to you guys. So we'll be a few minutes, just about a minute over here. That way I step out of the way of everybody who's trying to get to the theme park. So it is your 45-minute mark right now. You made it. Time flies. Exciting news. I saw all of you guys saw that we made it to our 14,000 subscriber goal. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward to doing some big things to hit 15,000 between some giveaways and fun streams. So planning that. Make sure that you check out, however you get out, make sure you get out, even if you're just walking around the block, get out a little bit, do a little something extra throughout the weekend until our next motivational stream. And in the meantime, Adam and I have a number of POVs from around Walt Disney World that are set to music, so you can check those out, pop those up. Oh, well, there's nobody around here. So I guess with the 45 minutes, let me go ahead and say great job to you guys. There we go. See, I got my headband on. But good morning. Congratulations. You did a phenomenal job this morning. It is wonderful to go out and walk with you guys. You know, even in the light of adversity and all the things that you go through during the day, you need to know that you are doing an incredible job, and you can keep doing incredible things. Just take it one step after the other, and you're going to get to whatever goal that you want to. No matter what life throws at you, just know that there's always a new day, and you're going to do great. You'll get through it. So with that, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I can't wait to see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.